conference. The SEC will still dominate you. And by the way, Oklahoma and Texas asked in, just like Texas A&M and Missouri asked in, and Arkansas and South Carolina. But sure, the SEC is predatory. If by that you mean it will take your best kids, your TV money, all the NIL money, and then kick your butt on Saturday night anyway, like you're a cupcake conference. Well, call it that. The CAC, the Cupcake Athletic Conference. I mean, the 10 has Ohio State and Penn State that can come over. The ACC has Clemson. The Pac-12 has, well, no one that can play here. And the Crumbling 8, forget about it. Now, one other note. I am not a David Pollock fan, but when he says to take the under 11.5 regular season wins for Alabama, he's kind of right. Joey Galloway was arguing for the over, but the fact remains, back-to-back unbeaten seasons is really tough to do, especially breaking in so many new parts. LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, Iron Bowl, Miami opening day. I get that Alabama will be double-digit favorites in all of those games, but still, to not lay an egg somewhere, not a good bet.
Thom Abraham, only on 97.7 The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Listen to the Thom Abraham Show.
And he loves fishing.
I'm going to tweet this out.
I've never seen you fanboy as hard as you did today, so congratulations.
I love this guy.
You kept your composure, but
I know
you fanboyed pretty hard.
I did. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not even a little bit not going to say that. I mean, that to me is, that's, broadcasters are a thing for me. That's why.
Listen to the Big Dog, weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention pet owners. If you're like me, or a lot of us here at 97.7 The Zone, you are a pet owner. This is Steve Moulton for the Greater Huntsville Humane Society and would like to ask you for your help. The Greater Huntsville Humane Society is asking for our help for their Good Samaritan Fund. These are animals that need surgeries for people that cannot afford these surgeries for their dogs, for their cats. I've adopted from the Greater Huntsville Humane Society myself. I have a 4-year-old cat named Trick and a 6-month-old puppy named Kirby. There are many ways you can donate to the Greater Huntsville Humane Society. You can log on to their website, which is ghhs.org. Or you could simply go by their offices, which is located at 2812 Johnson Road in Huntsville. But I will warn you, you may leave with another member of the family. I speak from personal experience. Kirby urges you to donate today.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama! Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Cowboys offense, much like last season, did not look good without quarterback Dak Prescott. Only came away with a field goal in the Hall of Fame game. Prescott did not make the trip. He stayed back at training camp, continues to get treatment and rehab on his strained right shoulder. Team hopes he can return to practice and resume throwing next week and be ready for the September 9th season opener. Allison Felix claimed her 10th Olympic medal, matched Carl Lewis's overall Olympic record, also set the record for women's track and field medals when she took the bronze in the 400 meters today. Team USA claimed silver in the women's 4x100 meter relay. American Gable Steveson claimed wrestling gold in the men's freestyle 125 kilogram class. Huge NL East Series starts tonight for the Mets and Phillies, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. Philadelphia's won 5 straight and is now just a half game back of the division-leading Mets.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A slightly better opportunity for showers and thunderstorms as we progress through the heart of your Friday afternoon. A little more cloud cover and a little less sunshine. Still, with that in mind, temperatures are at least going to climb into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. It'll be a pretty miserable night, not because it's going to rain, but because it's going to be so disgustingly humid. Temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 80s, a couple of us creeping into the lower 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now, another out-of-context moment from the Thom Abraham Show that sounds dirty.
I was actually trained as a plumber, so I know my way around a pipe here and there.
Stay tuned for more from Thom on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You want coffee? Anybody want coffee?
Can you get me off the hook? Roll type say.
Your tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here, am I on? If somebody responds.
What are you doing talking to me, Coach? You got practice coming up at 2:30 this afternoon. Look, it is Football Friday in the doghouse, and no matter where we are, when we are, what time of season it is, Football Friday means football music. And football music means the greatest piece of sporting music ever recorded in history. I get so excited for the show. My father's afraid I'm going to have a heart attack doing that. He said, don't do that with that bad heart you got. I'm like, where would you rather die? Right over there being excited. That white man overbite going. Been a minute since we've seen Drew moonwalking down the hallway. Who plays the organ like that? Break out a little guitar. Let's have a little guitar. I honestly think they ought to bring this back for Monday Night Football. I mean, they brought back the Ocho today on ESPN2, right? I almost feel like Grizz and I are dancing together, which is kind of weird. Thank God we got the big piece of glass between us. It's just so funky, man. It's just so funky. And last night, even in a preseason game, it was football eye candy with the Cowboys and the Steelers on the field together in that classic gear. Oh, look, now they're all going to get together and go nuts here at the end. Guitar, organ, everything. Guy in the bass guitar. I want to be the guy in the bass. I might as well take it home now. Got 10 seconds. God, I feel like I need a cigarette. Football, eye candy last night. Those teams have played in 3 Super Bowls with that gear. No one has ever done that before. And they were in that gear. I mean, it wasn't like the Cowboys ever wear their dark jerseys in a Super Bowl. They actually did wear their dark jerseys in one Super Bowl. Super Bowl 5 against the Baltimore Colts, the first Super Bowl after the merger. And everybody thought after the merger that was the end of AFL teams. Even though the AFL had won in Super Bowl 3 with the Jets and Super Bowl 4 with the Chiefs, Super Bowl 5 was the first Super Bowl after the merger, and the Baltimore Colts and the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers had moved to the AFC to create 16 teams or 13 teams on both sides. There had been 16 NFL teams and 10 AFL teams prior to the merge. Well, they needed 13 and 13, so those 3 teams said they would move. Cleveland said they'll move as long as Pittsburgh goes with us. And so that's how they became AFC teams, all right? So the first Super Bowl after Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Baltimore moved featured 2 old-school NFL teams. It was the Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys wore their dark jerseys and lost that Super Bowl on Jim O'Brien's last-second kick. It was a forgettable Super Bowl. It was a terrible game. It was an awful game. That was the game John Mackey caught a pass that was tipped by one of his own players. There was no replay, and it used to be illegal to do that. And so there was a big controversy about it. They're like, wait a minute, that ball went off of one of his own players. It's similar to the situation in 72. After 72, with the immaculate reception of Franco Harris, and they said, wait, that ball may have come off of Frenchie Fuqua, which was Franco Harris's backfield mate. And that's illegal for it to touch 2 offensive players. After that, they changed the rule, and they made it so that the ball could be tipped from one offensive player to another offensive player. But back in the day, it wasn't. And then I talked about that after the merger. 5 of the first 10 Super Bowls after the merger involved either the Steelers or the Colts. So people were like, hey. And everybody thought it would be the Browns. The Steelers had never even been to a playoff game in 40 years. The Steelers, their first playoff game was 1972. They hadn't even been to a playoff game. The Cleveland Browns had been a playoff team in 24 of their 27 years of existence. They had won 7 championships in 27 years. They had been in the conference final, the NFL championship game, which in effect was the conference final, in both 68 and 69. They lost to the Colts, who then went on and lost to the Jets. They lost to the Vikings after the 69 season, who lost to the Chiefs. So when the Browns went over, everybody thought, the Browns and the Colts are going to be in the Super Bowl every year. And it was the Steelers that ended up in the Super Bowl 4 times in that decade. Wow, how about the history lesson? Just hit you with a little history lesson. Is that boring when I go there? I wonder about that. You can comment on that if you want. Is it boring when I give you history? I am the senior member of the 97.7 ESPN The Zone team. I'm 60. All right? Nobody else is 60. I'm the senior member. Okay? So I know stuff. I know know a lot of crap, but I know stuff that is stuff.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
I've seen a thing or two. I'm the only one. I've been alive for every Super Bowl. Now, I don't remember 1 and 2, but I do remember 3. I was 8 years old.
We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Does it bore you when I tell you that? Do you ever learn anything? Anyway, it was just glorious to watch last night. To be honest, it wasn't bad ball in the first half either. Except for the horrendous kicking game. I mean, the kickers were like shanking it and hooking it. I mean, they were awful. But outside of that, it wasn't bad. And Najee Harris, he looked good for the Steelers. Then Dwayne Haskins. I mean, this guy was a first-rounder, 2 years ago? 2019. 3 drafts ago? 3 drafts ago, he's a first-rounder. He was a 15th pick in the draft. The Steelers picked him off the street for nothing. Who knows what he might be after a year or two with Mike Tomlin and the Steeler vets, because his problem is maturity. His problem isn't necessarily talent. His problem is maturity. He lacks maturity. But when he gets that, then who knows what he might do. And I thought for the Cowboys that Garrett Gilbert looked pretty good in a backup role. I did. I thought Garrett Gilbert looked pretty decent. He of the Orlando Apollo. Were they Orlando Apollos? The Orlando Apollos of the Alliance. And later on of the Cleveland Browns. He was the third stringer with the Browns. But I thought he looked pretty good last night. Wasn't bad. And by the way, and I have no idea what this means, if it means anything, but can I just say this? Mac Jones yesterday took more first-team reps with the Patriots for the second day in a row. Wednesday and Thursday practices, Mac Jones taking more first-team reps wearing number 50. Does not look very quarterback-like. I know they changed the numbering system in the NFL. I'm waiting to see these single-digit linebackers and crazy stuff like that. We didn't really see that last night. But Mac Jones, wearing number 50, threw 25 passes in the team-up session yesterday compared to just 17 for Cam Newton. All reports are that he has been very good. I mean, he has looked really good in the first week and a half of practice and has looked very comfortable in hurry-up sessions. I'm just saying, I'm not one to make a big deal out of guys in their underwear. Remember, that's what got me in trouble with the Justin Fields story. Ooh, Justin Fields threw a beautiful pass down the left sideline, which he overthrew. And I said, oh, come on. And they're pro football folks, just hand him the keys, please, just give him the job. Like, wait. And so everybody, not everybody, but half the people, hundreds of people attacked me, and it was maybe 100 that thought it was a good comment. But I'm just saying, for whatever it's worth, Mac Jones has looked very good. And speaking of looking very good, how about those hot Atlanta Braves last night getting the sweep in St. Louis, and for the first time in 109 games, they're above 500. And with the Mets' loss, the Braves are only a game and a half out of the NL East lead. Austin Riley with the big bomb to tie the game.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and drilled deep down the left field line. Stay fair. Home run! Tie game. Austin Riley blistered that one right on down the line. And the Braves have evened it all up, and that third base dugout is all fired up down there.
And then the Cardinals absolutely imploded. In the 8th inning, the Cardinals could not get the ball over the plate.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, bases loaded. Here it is to Ozzie. Ball 4, low and away, and the Braves will see another run walk in. 4 straight walks.
4 straight walks.
An RBI for Ozzie.
And then again.
There they go. 3-2 pitch all the way to the backstop, ball 4. And it's now an 8-4 lead for the Braves. That's now 5 straight walks following a hit batter.
They hit a guy and then walked 5 guys. Braves win. And in New York, Joey Gallo. He hit his first home run as a Yankee, and man, was it big.
High fly ball. Down the line. Haniger on the track, at the wall. See ya! Joey Gallo's signature Yankee moment. A 3-run home run. His first blast as a Yankee, and it gives them a 5-3 lead.
They won a game 5-3. Aroldis Chapman tried to give it away in the ninth, couldn't do it. Gallo had 2 doubles in that game last night. So the Yankees now move within. Forget the wild card. They're within. They're a game and a half, 2.5. I think they're 2.5 games out of the wild card. They're only 5.5 games behind Tampa Bay in the AL East. They're 5.5, and everybody. Another guy goes on to COVID. The Gary Sanchez. You got Garrett Cole out. You got Jordan Montgomery out. Now you got Gary Sanchez out. You got these guys, we don't even know who the hell they are. Some pitcher that looks like, Nacho Libre or something like that, pitching for them last night, and they just keep winning. It's a good job there. Alabama and Auburn are on the field today as camp begins. 20 practices before game week prep begins, allegedly. I always say a little bit of, I know that they have the camp and then they have game week prep, but you can't tell me that they're going to spend a little time. It isn't going to be all 20 practices. Joey Blackwell, BamaCentral.com, is coming up in a few minutes to help us set up Tide Camp. Then at the top of the 11, Mike Organ is going to join me, old friend from the Tennessean, as IndyCar has descended upon downtown Nashville. And this is going to be something. It's the Big Machine Records Music City Grand Prix. They're going to race from First Avenue downtown. Y'all know Nashville pretty well. They're racing from First Avenue downtown across the Korean Veterans Memorial Bridge, then around the parking lot on the north side of Nissan Stadium, where I used to do pregame, and then back over the bridge where they're nearly hitting 200 miles an hour over the bridge. It's going to be a stunning visual. They do have catch fences up. Oh, hopefully there won't be a wreck or anything there. Hopefully nobody ends up in a river. The race is Sunday at 4:30. They're expecting over 150,000 people downtown for that race. Mike Organ's going to tell us about it. And phone lines will be open. 256-576-4977. It's a good old-fashioned way to communicate with us. You pick up your phone and you call 576-4977. We also have your entire digital doghouse for you as well, consisting of our Twitter feed at Thom Abraham Show. On the Facebook, it's Thom Abraham Show. Your text window is 732-9TA Show, 732-982-7469. The Zone is on Twitter and Twitch and on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN and online at 97.7ESPN.com. And the app. Get your app. You got to have the app. Plus, go to 97.7 ESPN The Zone onto YouTube. Hit that little like and notification bell on our YouTube page as well. And then you can watch this thing on your YouTube. In that little glass room over there across the way, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones, keeping us on the air, just flat out giddy over the Atlanta Braves. It's Coach Chris.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a stick polish.
Brilliant! I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll. Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Hey, Grizzlicious, how you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, and I was doing really well last night. Started football season. Braves get the win, and I actually pulled in right in the 8th inning, right when that 6-run shellacking or whatever you want to say debacle.
Pulled in from where?
I was watching the football game. I'm just saying I was pulling.
Oh, you didn't even pay attention. The Braves were on the ESPN.
I know they were. No. I did.
Oh my gosh.
I was flipping back and forth. See, in this thing called Discord, which is like a group chatting group, you can actually share your screen on your computer. So, I was with a group that I play a video game with, and we were actually watching the football game and talking about it and stuff like that together. And I was actually watching the Braves game, on the other side of my computer on the other screen. So I was actually watching both, but I had it like sometimes I just didn't have it up. So when I flipped it back to the Braves, right when that 6-run inning happened, and yeah, man, finally over 500.
I was popping back and forth between the Yankees game, the Braves game, and the football game, and I was watching a decent amount of football. I didn't watch any of the Olympics. Is it over yet? I mean, when the hell is that thing going to end?
2 more days, the 8th.
Well, I mean, I am interested
one more
in
day,
the
if it's the 7th,
tomorrow morning is the baseball final. When is the basketball game for the gold medal?
Is that today?
It's not today. Well, I mean, it might
today,
be
tomorrow?
tonight.
Today, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, tonight. Today, tomorrow. I don't know if that's in the middle of the night tonight or in the middle of the night Saturday
today
night.
At 9:30 p.m.
That's all? 9:30?
9:30.
Our time?
Not bad.
I wonder if they're actually going to put it on the TV.
Oh,
Now, did the Chicks win? The Chicks won the basketball.
Yes.
Did they win the basketball gold?
Yes.
So the Chicks already won. So now it's up to the dudes to get there. Who they end up playing? France? Who are we playing tonight?
Well, the women might actually be still playing, actually. They might not be done
they got to
yet.
play their game yet?
Yeah, I think they still have to play.
Who are the dudes playing? France?
France again, yes.
Okay, so France. Got to beat France, win that gold.
No, I think the women just beat Serbia yesterday, so they go on to play. I'll have to look at that in a second.
So the guys are, and then the baseball team's playing Japan.
Yeah.
Find out what time that game is in the morning.
Rematch.
Yeah, but that's big. You know, they did a study of the most popular Olympic sport per country.
Yeah.
And they had all of these different. They analyzed all these different things to come up with it. What do you think is the most popular Olympic sport in the United States? Number 1 and then number 2.
Swimming.
Number 1 most popular Olympic sport in the United States is baseball.
Oh, wow.
Baseball.
Wow.
And number 2 is golf.
Not even close.
Golf.
Way off.
Number 2. Baseball and then golf. That's what people are number 1 based on what they've watched.
Yeah.
Based on what they're talking about on the social media and the survey. In most of Europe, you know what the most popular summer Olympic sport is? Tennis.
Wow.
Tennis, but not in the UK or Germany. In the UK and in Germany, let me see if I can tell on the map here. In the UK and in the Germany, it is golf. No, Germany is the marathons.
They like
Who knew?
The run.
The running. Swimming is the
runner.
most popular sport in northern Africa and the Middle East. The Middle East. Guess what Russia and Kazakhstan's most popular sport is? Russia now. What do you think Russia's most popular sport is?
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Very good.
Oh,
yeah.
No, and Iran too. Probably, I would think they've always got a stud. There's always like one weight class. There's always somebody from Iran that's like some stud.
I should have given you one of those. Wrestling. Guess what the most popular sport in Haiti, Gabon, I didn't even heard of that country, and Guinea is? Skateboarding.
Really?
Yes. You wouldn't have gotten that one.
No, because, I mean, Japan seems like they're doing, like, phenomenal in skateboarding right now.
They got sports that I didn't even know they had. Why haven't we seen any trampoline? Why do they show all of the gymnastics, but they don't show the trampoline? I think trampoline is really cool. I forgot about trampoline in the Olympics. Have you ever watched trampoline?
Is that what they do? Just do a bunch of flips and
they do. They're gymnasts,
I don't know.
and they do them 30 feet in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, they bounce up in the air, and they do that. And they don't have one of them nets around their trampoline. You know what I mean? It's a rectangular trampoline.
Right.
And they don't have, like, one of them nets like you do in the backyard trampoline. But they go way high in the air, and they do all kinds of twisties and flips. And
do they have to land perfect at the end or something?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to go land perfect,
Okay.
and then sometimes you bounce on your butt and all of that kind of stuff.
Then I know what you're talking about.
Haven't seen any trampoline. They tell us
no trampoline.
No
Oh.
trampoline. You know what else they got in the Olympics? I didn't even know they had.
I don't know.
They got rock climbing, like a climbing wall. You know the climbing wall with the
like
little
fast,
plastic things,
like speed climbing or whatever
and
it's called.
speed climbing. Yeah, they got a clock at the top, and you go, and you go up to the top and touch. Speed climb. I mean, what else? What is this? Chuck E. Cheese?
I got a couple of buddies that would do that for sure.
Trampoline and the rock climbing. Do they have those balls that you jump into? You know, like at the Chuck E. Cheese. They got stuff that I wouldn't even know of. Because they don't show. They decide what they're going to show us. Modern pentathlon, which I think is 5 things: shooting and sword, and they should have fishing. Oh, that's got a horse involved and a swimming in a pentathlon and running. I think they had they got mountain biking. Did you know mountain biking? They don't show that.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Mountain biking would have been cool in Japan. That would have been awesome.
Biking. Things they don't show at the Olympics. Now we see all the diving. You see all of that stuff. Boxing used to be a really, really cool thing. They got the BMX freestyle and BMX racing. The BMX racing, I saw a lot of that. That's actually pretty cool. Of course, this year, the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Did we win that?
Yes, the women did. The men did not even qualify.
Well, I didn't think they had men's.
No, they do have 3-on-3 men's.
We couldn't find 3 dudes to play in that.
It was a bunch of
Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg.
I think we talked about this. It was a bunch of dudes that were like my age, like they were like 31, 32 years old, just guys that were just like had played in college but just were not good. They were not professional players. I think one played 2 years in the league.
Another thing that we didn't know was in the Olympics that they never showed: sailing. Did you know they had sailing?
See, I didn't watch it on the Olympics, but I did watch it, like, I guess it was like the World Championships or something like that, or it was something a few weeks ago, or it was sometime before the Olympics, I know that. But, yeah, I didn't see that on the Olympics.
They got Olympic sailing, a bunch of different events in all kinds of things. They got laser radical and a one-person dinghy. I mean, they got all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, let me get Ray Dog in here. Ray Dog, welcome to the show. How are you? Where's Ray Dog? Did he bail on me?
I'm right here.
Hey, Ray Dog, how you doing?
Well, usually you give me the open, and I'm like, I hear a beep, and I'm like, that's not normal. What just happened?
I don't know. Our phones have been acting kind of weird a little bit. Grace, did you call anybody yet? To see what's going on with the phones?
I mean, I called people this morning. It seemed to work just fine. I mean, we were trying to get Mark Fleetwood, Huntsville head coach, on earlier today, but he just didn't answer his phone.
Oh, okay.
There have been some problems.
Everything you hit. I was going to hit everything Tom hit in the open, and we're in agreement for once with pretty much everything.
Yeah?
Now, I need to know, which one of the grandkids told you about the trampolining?
My wife is big time into trampolining, and I didn't know, but no, my grandkids didn't tell. We have a trampoline in the backyard, but I was looking at the list of sports because I didn't know that they had rock climbing. So I was looking at the list of sports, and I saw trampoline on there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that in the last Olympics, and it was really cool. But, they didn't show it.
And have you looked at the medal count? This has been the Alabama versus Clemson, and then everybody else. Olympics.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. Are we going to catch up on the gold? I don't care about the total medals. We're not. We're like blowing them away in total medals. We have 98 total medals. China has 79, so we got like a 19 medal lead there. The next closest is Japan with, actually Rochester, as I call them. The ROC has 62 medals. But the only thing I care about is the gold, and we are still 5 medals behind China in gold. They have 36 and we have 31. We need to somehow pass them.
Does America have 5 gold medal events left?
Well, we got chicks basketball and men's basketball, so there's 2 we could win. We should win. Then we've got baseball against Japan. We're a little slight underdog, but we could win that one. But there's got to be a bunch of track and field stuff left, isn't there? There's got to be some track and field left, I think. We used to win the...
I don't know. I honestly haven't watched.
Yeah, we used to win the decathlon all the time, right? I mean, that was our thing. We used to be really good in the decathlon, but then one of our decathlon champions became a woman, and since then it seems like it's gone downhill.
No, with the football thing, has there been a guy who has ever screwed up and landed in a better rehab circumstance than Dwayne Haskins as a player?
That's a good take. No, I don't think there's a better place that Dwayne Haskins could have gone to than with Mike Tomlin, a 15-year veteran coach, in a situation where the quarterback that's there is a veteran that can teach him how to be a pro and who is going to be retiring probably at the end of this year. That is a really good take.
Not only that, but Ben had some immature moments as a young player.
Yeah, that's true.
off the field. And the gold moment of the night was Drew Pearson in the interview of the game saying there's a difference between being a pro and being a professional.
That is classic. Yeah, that was good. I saw that.
Catch you, man.
All right, let's get a break. Joey Blackwell is next. We're talking Alabama as they get ready to open camp up here today on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The Braves opening a series with the Nationals at home this weekend. Atlanta minus 182 in Game 1. The Nationals plus 155 on the money line. The over-under 10. Kyle Muller on the hill for Atlanta. The United States men's basketball team will go for the gold against France, the team that upset the Americans in the opening game of the Tokyo Olympics. The USA a 12.5-point favorite in the rematch. The over-under 175.5. The United States baseball team still alive to win a gold medal heading into the final days of the Olympics. They'll have another shot at Japan, who came back to beat the U.S. earlier in the tournament. Japan the favorite, minus 160 to win gold. The United States plus 130.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortandSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. I hope all of you are well. These are trying times we're experiencing right now, and I want you to know that we at Baumhauer's are committed more than ever to providing a legendary dining experience to everyone. Everyone is important to us, and everyone is welcome. Please allow us to serve you in a way that makes you feel safe, appreciated, welcome, and special. Because we're all special in the eyes of the ones and the one that counts. God bless.
The following liner is courtesy of Frank Caliendo. Check out Frank online at frankcaliendo.com.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors. I mean, Wes played at Alabama and he worked on the sled. I mean, it all comes down to the sled. I mean, I love the sled. Wes knows what I'm talking about. But as for Steve, I mean, Steve, he's one of those guys. The only sled he knows about was the one on Snowy Hill. Boom.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway, one arm on the
I hope this isn't the Dixieland Delight they sing at the stadium. That would be bad.
the other,
They got bad words in there.
a sweet, soft southern thrill.
Who cares? He didn't mean it.
Worked hard all week,
But the city nut.
got a little jingle
Thom Abraham
on
Show.
a Tennessee
It is time for a little Dixieland Delight. I always was confused as to why Dixieland Delight is a thing at Alabama because it's on a Tennessee moonlit night. I always think of that as a Tennessee song. I don't understand why they play it in Tuscaloosa because Dixieland Delight to me is about a moonlit Tennessee night. But what do I know? Maybe Joey Blackwell knows more about it. He's with BamaCentral.com, does a tremendous job there. And he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Joey, why do we play Dixieland Delight in Tuscaloosa? It's a Tennessee song.
Well, it's a thing. It's written and performed by a band called Alabama. That might be a
true.
first hint.
Yes, but they say on a Tennessee Saturday night. You know what I mean? I'm like, the only thing I know about a Tennessee Saturday night is Alabama's usually kicking Tennessee's ass. You know, that's all I know. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was about to say. You know, for the last decade and a half, Neyland Stadium has basically been Bryant-Denny Stadium Part 2, so that's home away from home. So maybe that's why.
Well, it wasn't always that way. I'll tell you what, I had to live through some of those, that 9-game run that Fulmer had against Alabama. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And I'll never forget. It was I was in Nashville at the time. I was on the air in Nashville at the time, and it was like 2006 or so. It was right after Katrina, the year or two after Katrina, and when Alabama started dominating the series. And somebody said that Philip Fulmer should get hired by FEMA, right? And they said, well, why should he be hired by FEMA? And they said, well, nobody can evacuate 100,000 people faster than Philip Fulmer. So we were bailing out of Neyland Stadium. So anyway, yeah, I suspect that someday that worm will turn, but I don't know. I mean, it's been a streaky series. That's always been a streaky series. But wouldn't it be great if when realignment comes, like next year when Oklahoma and Texas are in the league? I am extremely. I don't want this pod thing. I am extremely fired up about Alabama and Auburn going to the East because I just think and getting rid of the crossover games because those are the two biggest ones, right? The Alabama Tennessee and the Auburn Georgia. You wouldn't need the crossover games, and I just would love to have Alabama in the same division with Florida and Georgia and Tennessee. Of course, Auburn would always be there. I think it would be fantastic.
No, I agree. I kind of like the move. Right now there's kind of there's a power imbalance in the SEC. You have Georgia and Florida in the East, but then after that there's a pretty steep drop-off, whereas in the West, of course, you have Alabama, you have Auburn, who's routinely good, you have LSU, Texas A&M, you have some really solid top-tier programs. If you moved Alabama and Auburn over to the East, you would kind of balance the power a little bit by having 4 or 5 solid programs in each division.
Sure.
So I'm all in favor of that. Keep LSU as the permanent, cross-division rival for Alabama, and then everything else stays the same as far as, having those rivalries set up because then you'd have Tennessee and Auburn in the East. So I really like that. I think increase the schedule to 9 conference games, and I think you have yourself a winning recipe right there.
Yeah, that's the only thing. See, I don't like the crossover anymore with a 16-team league. I don't think you can have a permanent crossover. I say just go 9 games. You've got the 7 on your side. You play 2 teams on a rotating basis on the other side, and you see everybody every 4 years at least. We would lose Alabama, LSU. I understand that. But I'm ready for an annual Alabama-Florida, Alabama-Georgia game. I think Alabama-Florida, Alabama-Georgia every year would be fantastic. I think whatever you think you might lose by not having LSU every year, you would gain by having Florida and Georgia every year.
Yeah, that Alabama-Florida game is always a good game. I mean, and this is, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is Alabama's first trip to the swamp this season in a decade. That's a crying shame. Games like that need to happen far more often, because when you think of Alabama, Florida, I mean, these are two historic programs of the two teams that played first in the first SEC title game. Both have legendary coaches, and Bear Bryant and Steve Spurrier. They're just two historic programs, and the fact that outside of the SEC championship game, they rarely get to play in the regular season, that's just a crying shame.
Yeah, and then you might see LSU in the conference championship game if it's not Oklahoma, or if it's if it's not somebody else from over there. Won't be. I know it won't be. It wouldn't be Texas. Texas got a lot of work to do, to be competitive, I think, in this
deal. Well,
deal.
Let's be honest. Even if they join in 2022, Texas really won't arrive until 2025 and 2026. It'll take them that long to get used to it.
Yeah, you would think, and then who knows ever? You know what I mean? You would think, but again, that Texas A&M game. I'm not saying it's the Iron Bowl, but the nastiness that exists there and so on, I think that Texas A&M game would be absolutely solid gold, and would approach, I think it blows away Egg Bowl and, other Civil War and any of that kind of stuff. I think Texas A&M would be right there with Alabama, Auburn, and with Ohio State, Michigan. I just think it would be that great a game.
Well, especially with the bad blood that's been brewed, Texas and Texas A&M have always hated each other. But when Texas A&M left, the Texas fans being like, "Oh, we scared them out of the conference." And you have Texas A&M fans, of course, taking offense to that and saying, "Oh no, we're moving on to something better." And then now it's kind of the tables have turned. You have Texas A&M, who's been in the SEC, and Texas joining, and that bad blood never left. That shows how intense the rivalry is. The fact that these teams haven't played each other in so long, and they still just adamantly hate each other. And so bringing them into the conference is just going to be, the Iron Bowl, Georgia, Florida, the Ohio State, Michigan. These are all must-watch games, and Texas A&M will be another must-watch game that everybody will be tuning to every year.
Joey Blackwell with us from BamaCentral.com. Uncle Luke wants to know why Kool-Aid McKinstry hasn't been signed up by the Kool-Aid people yet, and I had two thoughts on that. One, first of all, why would they sign him? I mean, he's Kool-Aid already. They're getting all that free pub. He's going to be an All-American in a couple of years. He's going to be a top draft pick, all that kind of stuff. And they're getting all the love. They don't have to pay for it. But secondly, I wonder if this would violate, they got that rule. One of the few rules that there are is that you can't have a sponsor or sponsor a product that is in conflict with an existing university sponsor. And this is a Coca-Cola school at Alabama. Coca-Cola is Powerade. I don't know that, with them being a Powerade school, that Kool-Aid could have a Kool-Aid deal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into that. I'm not really sure if that could be the case. You would think that with, Malachi Moore signing with Milo's and now Bojangles, and he's just quickly sweeping away all the fast food in the South, you'd think that McKinstry would be able to snag a deal with, but on the other hand, you could be absolutely right. He is already called Kool-Aid, so that's all the free sponsorship you already need. But, with what we're seeing from him, or what we saw from him in spring camp, it might be a year for him to prove himself even, on the field. But after he, is in the top 10 on the team in tackles this year, maybe those sponsorships will start calling.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the guys I'm really interested in seeing, because we have seen Alabama start freshmen before at corner. I mean, Patrick Surtain did it. I think Dre Kirkpatrick did it. What do you think? I mean, do you think that this there's no shot that he will be out there against Miami, or do you think he's really got a little ways to go? I know that Saban is poor-mouthing him, but that's what Saban does.
Yeah. I think I don't see him as a day one starter. I don't see him out there, on the first snap against Miami. But I do see him, taking on a larger role, and that's what we're probably going to see with a lot of freshmen on the team this year. We see with McKinstry, you already have some really solid defensive backs. You have Josh Jobe, you have Jalen Armour-Davis, and then, of course, you have all the safeties, but Kool-Aid's more of a corner. I think we're going to see him kind of be in a rotation, but I see Josh Jobe is going to be the guy to beat for that position right now. But that being said, it wouldn't surprise me that as the season progresses, we start seeing him, after he gets some SEC action under his belt, seeing him rotated more into the starting lineup. He's just too dynamic of a player. I mean, I'm sure you saw yesterday, he won, USA Today named him the high school male athlete of the year. This guy has too much pedigree to not see a lot of action on the field this year.
Brian Robinson, he's like 25 years old now, I think. I don't know. He's gonna like graduate and retire at the same time, I think. But it's finally his time Allegedly. But I've been waiting on Trey Sanders for a long time, like a lot of people. He had the injury, then had the car accident. What do we know about Trey Sanders and his ability to push Brian Robinson? And, of course, they got, as in every class, they always have a couple of new studs coming in as well.
Well, I just finished recording a podcast with Tyler Martin, who, of course, is also a friend of your show. And one of the things that we brought up was Trey Sanders and talking about how far has he progressed from his recovery of the unfortunate car accident that he suffered last season. The guy's a stud. He's just had a lot of injuries, and it doesn't help that he's been behind, solid players like Najee Harris. I think as the season goes on, it's a very similar situation to McKinstry. I think he's one of the guys I'm going to be watching in fall camp. I already have his number memorized, and I'm going to be checking every day to see if I see him taking reps. Because from what I've heard in Tuscaloosa, he's about 90%, but he's still not completely there yet. He's still recovering. So, but that's a good sign though. That means that by midseason he should be back into top shape, probably sooner than that. Of course, the job is Brian Robinson's to lose. He's obviously going to be the day one starter for Alabama, but I could see Trey Sanders being rotated in and maybe in garbage time once he's fully recovered. But that being said, that's not to take away from Jason McClellan and Roydell Williams, who both had some outstanding times last year. I mean, the Arkansas game comes to mind when you're thinking about when Alabama started utilizing a running back rotation to kind of put an end to the season. But Alabama is very deep at running back. There's not a lot of recognizable names on a national scale, but you best better believe that at the end of this season, I think there's going to be a lot of names that people across the country recognize because I think Bill O'Brien's going to use them all in a pretty solid rotation.
And one of the guys, of course, a very notable transfer, Henry To'oTo'o, he comes over. He's going to compete with Jalen Moody. I don't know how he is not on the field. It was amazing that I think Alabama had 3 linebackers in the the preseason All-SEC team voted by the media, and one of them wasn't Henry To'oTo'o. How do you see him fitting in, and how do they rotate this thing on defense?
Well, the rumors are right now in Tuscaloosa that To'oTo'o is going to be the Mike linebacker. He's going to be the signal caller on Alabama's defense. And I don't mistake. I didn't say Mike linebacker. I said mic'd, like he has a microphone.
Mic'd.
Helmet.
Yeah, Mike.
Microphone. I think he's going to be. The rumors are he's going to be the signal caller this year, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, you do have some stellar talent in the interior linebacker with Christian Harris and Jalen Moody, but on top of that, with To'oTo'o, he was the team's leading tackler in Knoxville. To take it full circle to the top of the segment, he was the team's leading tackler the past two years, and he served that role under Jeremy Pruitt. And Jeremy Pruitt's defense, of course, is very similar and is run very similar to what Pete Golding does at Alabama. Of course, Pruitt being a former Alabama guy himself. It makes perfect sense for him to slide into that position. To'oTo'o brings an enormous amount of talent with him to Alabama. One of the best, if not the best, transfer across the board this college football offseason. But those are the rumors as of right now, him taking over that. But that being said, it wouldn't surprise me to see somebody like Christian Harris, who, of course, has his resume speaks for himself, taking over that position. But as from what I'm hearing, and that's another thing I'm going to look for today in practice, I want to see who's taking what position in drills between To'oTo'o and Christian Harris.
Yeah, it's tough to tell for sure. I mean, you'll see the drills, but it's tough to tell how that translates over. I don't understand how the kid's not wearing number 22. I don't get it. I mean, like Jordan Tutu, the hockey player for the Preds back in the day, was always Jordan Tutu wherever he went. He was number 22. I don't understand how To'oTo'o isn't number 22. Why is he number 11? Unless To'oTo'o means 11 in some other language or something. I don't know. I don't get it. But in any event, Joey Blackwell has been our guest. Joey, I appreciate you so much, man. I look forward to having you in a rotation this year.
Absolutely, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you. That's all they get to see. I mean, you'll see the first 10, 15 minutes of practice. You see them in the drills. Well, I don't know. We never lined our guys up based on who was the starter in drills. We didn't. It was, your lineup. We never said, okay, all right, the first 2 linebacker, they're drills. We never put them in order of their starting position. I know that you try to read the tea leaves and you try to do all of that stuff when you're following a team, but I don't know that, I don't know you can gain too much from that. All right. Let's get a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. It's Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrend as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. You know, great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
You know it and I know it. Sometimes a brand new car or truck just isn't in the budget. That's where we come in. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I want to talk to you about the advantages of buying a Ford Gold certified used car or truck. These are low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties, a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles have passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance too. You'll also get a Carfax vehicle history report and 22,000 Ford Pass reward points to use for future scheduled maintenance or other accessories. Plus, before you leave in your gold certified used car, we'll be sure to give you a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change, even new wiper blades. Gold certified vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A slightly better opportunity for showers and thunderstorms as we progress through the heart of your Friday afternoon. A little more cloud cover and a little less sunshine. Still, with that in mind, temperatures are at least going to climb into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. It'll be a pretty miserable night, not because it's going to rain, but because it's going to be so disgustingly humid. Temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 80s, a couple of us creeping into the lower 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Disgustingly humid. Not disgustingly humid. Disgustingly humid.
He's freaking awesome.
There's nothing disgusting about my friends at North Alabama Mortgage, that's for sure. North Alabama Mortgage. And not only Alabama, but also Tennessee, Florida, wherever you got your property here in the wonderful South. And they do conventional and VA and FHA and USDA loans. They do not do VHA loans, because there is no such thing. I keep wanting to say that. I don't know why I say that. But Brian Hammaker and his team, they just do such a tremendous job. You know me, I'm all about the relationships. And I struck up a relationship with Brian Hammaker when I found out that he, like me, is an outdoorsman and a fisherman. And, we fished a lot of the same tournaments. He fishes some of the Opens as well with Bassmaster, and he's just a tremendous guy. They put a great effort into making sure that you get the right product and the right rate for your deal. And it's a scary time sometimes. Buying a house is your biggest purchase. And Brian Hammaker and his team will make sure that you get through that as easily as possible. And by the way, speaking of fishing, so Grizz, I slipped out late yesterday afternoon. I'm having these heart issues and stuff, and I start thinking, I'm like, you know what? Life's too short. Life's too short for me. I work, usually I'm in this office, 6:30, 7 o'clock every morning, and I'm here till, at least 6 every night. It's 12 hours. That's too much. It's just, so life's too short. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to take a pass. I'm going to take a pass doing something that I like to do once in a while.
Yeah.
So I slipped out with the Junkyard Babe late yesterday afternoon, hit the lake.
Uh-oh.
Fishing. Stop. Get your head out of the gutter. Fishing.
That was Steve and I earlier.
So I went deep into a cove, and I'm fishing in 4.5 feet of water. And the water's 87 degrees, and I was fishing some timber that was down in the lake.
Nice and warm.
And I caught a smallmouth. 4.5 feet of water in 87-degree water. A smallmouth in August.
He must be new.
It's like, what? Yeah, he must be new. Like, what the hell are you doing here? All right, when we come back, speaking of smallmouth, Mike Organ will join us from the Tennessean next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks, and that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food, from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-three meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. And you can enjoy $50 worth of delicious Bubby's Diner food for half price with this week's Zone Deal. On sale now online at 977ESPN.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm
Christine Lisi. The Cowboys offense, much like last season, did not look good without quarterback Dak Prescott. Only came away with a field goal in the Hall of Fame game. Prescott did not make the trip. He stayed back at training camp, continues to get treatment and rehab on his strained right shoulder. Team hopes he can return to practice and resume throwing next week and be ready for the September 9th season opener. Allison Felix claimed her 10th Olympic medal, matched Carl Lewis's overall Olympic record, also set the record for women's track and field medals when she took the bronze in the 400 meters today. Team USA claimed silver in the women's 4x100-meter relay. American Gable Steveson claimed wrestling gold in the men's freestyle 125-kilogram class. Huge NL East Series starts tonight for the Mets and Phillies, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. Philadelphia's won 5 straight and is now just a half game back of the division-leading Mets.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us. The segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. At Woody Anderson Ford, well, you know, their service department could just do everything that you need done. Doesn't matter what the make or model of your vehicle is, they will get it done. At Woody Anderson Ford, they just do a tremendous job down there. And you can tell by the pride that they have in their own facility. Just when you walk through it and you see the service lanes and all of that stuff, you can just see how absolutely beautiful it is at Woody Anderson Ford. And you can know that they will take care of you in a big way down there. All right, joining us now, a guy who actually would appreciate that last little story I told before the top of the hour, Mike Organ of the Tennessean. He has been the outdoor writer there. I think he's still the outdoor writer there, but he covers a bunch of other things, including the big race that is coming up this weekend down there, the Music City Grand Prix, the Big Machine Records Music City Grand Prix. It'll take place in downtown Nashville this weekend, and he joins us now on a Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Mike, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tom. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, it is good to catch up. You still doing the outdoor stuff there for the Tennessean as well?
Yeah, still doing the outdoors and pretty much everything else. But, yeah, still doing the outdoor space, hunting and fishing.
So you'll like this. This story I was just telling the guys at the top of the hour. Yesterday I slipped out. I live on Timms Ford Lake, and I slipped out yesterday late in the day for a couple of hours with my wife, and I went into the back of a pocket, deep into a back of a pocket, 4.5 feet of water, 87-degree water, fishing around some wood, right? Looking for those largemouth that are moving back in, to get away from the thermocline and stuff like that. I caught a smallmouth, Mike. I caught a smallmouth in 87-degree, 4-foot water. I mean, he must have been lost. Isn't that nuts?
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it was like
saltwater fish. That's incredible. What was it doing up there?
I don't know. And I caught it like I caught a nice largemouth, and like 4 casts later, I just kind of pitched over a piece of wood, and I was holding my hand out with one hand, and I'm kind of looking at the next bank to look at the next piece of cover that I want to toss to, and I'm holding my hand out, and I mean, it just hit like a hammer. It just all of a sudden the rod was jerked down. I gave it the one-handed hook set and flipped the smallie up over this big piece of wood. And I turned to my wife, and she goes, "Oh, look, you caught another one." I'm like, "Honey, you don't understand. This is a brown. This makes no sense. August smallmouth in 4 feet of water. This dude is lost, man."
And he fought you, which is, I was going to ask you, did he put as much of a fight? Because I would have thought he'd be dazed and confused, maybe sick, out of his realm. but he was fine, huh?
No, he was fine. He wasn't big. He was like 13 inches, so he was a little guy. But he was enough of a guy to, he put up a good little bet. He'll be a good fish in a little while. So it was just crazy, with the way that went down. But anyway, so we got the Music City Grand Prix this weekend downtown. The visual of this thing has got to be stunning. Going over the Memorial Bridge there, the Korean Veterans Memorial Bridge, at 180, 200 miles an hour in both directions is going to be absolutely amazing.
It's something that, you don't even, who came up with this idea, is just incredible. There's never been a race that went over a body of water in the first place. And then you decide to do one in downtown Nashville. And as you said, they think they're going to get up to about 185. I talked to a guy yesterday, said, don't be surprised if they hit 200, because it's such a good straightaway. And it's one of the few straightaways that will be on the course. So it's going to be one of the places you're going to be able to catch up time, make up time. So they're going to use it, big time. But the visual of 40 cars going over at that speed is just incredible. It's things you don't think you could only do with animation.
And it's one of the longest. I am not a road racing fan. I want ovals, and when I heard what they were doing out at the super speedway, I thought, well, it'd be cool if the IRL came back out there. But having said that, this, and maybe it's because it's a town that, it's our town, or the town and so on. But the other part about this deal, this is not a ton of left and right. I mean, this is, you go over the bridge. That, I don't know how long that straightaway is, but you got that long straightaway going over the bridge, and then around the parking lot at Nissan Stadium, back over the bridge and around, downtown area on First Ave. But this isn't one of those road courses where there's no width and it's all just follow the leader and there's a million turns. It isn't really like that.
No, only 11 corners, and they're going to be on that bridge a good amount of the time. That's going to be the main place they're going to be. So they're going to get their speeds up pretty good. They still claim that, the winner will be the ones that handles the turns the best and that kind of thing. But what I'm hoping for, Tom, is that because you get this a lot in the road races, is the whoever wins qualifying gets out front, wins the race. And I don't think, after talking to 5 or 6 of the drivers yesterday, I don't think they're going to let that happen. They see this as an opportunity with the bridge in play as to overtake some guys. So we're hoping that it's only 80 laps, so that there's that in there also, is that you can't lay back for very long and not do something. Yeah. So they're going to try to make it. The people aren't going to give in. And the other big thing is this is the largest field since outside of Indy in 8 years. It's going to be a big TV audience. There's a lot of attention on this race, so it's an opportunity to make a splash. So I don't think there's going to be many guys that are going to be willing to just lay back and not make a play for it if they get an opportunity.
I don't know if you want anybody to make a splash, though. No pun intended. I don't think we want to have that. No splashes in this deal here.
That's a good point.
I see the catch fences up there on the bridge. They almost look natural. It's almost like, leave those up. You know what I mean? It would almost seem to make sense, to leave those.
They're going to come back for at least 3 years, and I think pretty sure. I don't think there's any doubt this thing's going to go beyond the current term. Yeah, just leave them up. It'll be a statement. Yeah, just to remind people of the race.
You say you don't think it'll go beyond the current terms? I mean, it seems like this could be a thing.
No, I said I don't think there's any question it will go beyond.
Yeah.
Is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long time event here in Nashville.
Now, am I hearing this right? They're expecting as much as like 150,000 people down there for the race. Talk to me about what the viewing points are, the vantage points, because I don't think, if you're not watching it on TV, I don't know where you're going to see much going on. Can you stand like on a pedestrian bridge and watch the race? Would you be able to see them on the Veterans Bridge from there? Or talk to me about that.
Well, they capped the tickets at 60,000, so for the race Sunday there'll be 60,000. But the big thing is this is a 3-day event. This thing started today at 10 o'clock this morning, so there's stuff going on today through Sunday. So that's where I think you're hearing the 150,000 number or 200,000, because over the next 3 days, including today, that you'll have 150,000 to 200,000 people downtown. Outside of the IndyCar race, there's going to be several other races, including a Trans Am TA2 race where Justin Marks, who has moved his NASCAR team to Nashville, will drive in. Scott Borchetta, a local music mogul, will drive in. And then Robbie Gordon's trucks will run at Nissan Stadium Sunday. There'll be 2 races there. There'll be a race Saturday night and Sunday for those super trucks, which a lot of people say those are the most exciting things to watch in racing these days. So over the 3 days, I think that's where you're going to have 150 to 200,000 people. But, yeah, you're right. The vantage point for Sunday is just if you can get to see the race on that bridge. And then I saw the grandstand. The grandstand's going to be down at Nissan Stadium, where you'll be able to see them coming over the bridge, and then that lap they'll make outside Nissan Stadium.
And then you got the concert tonight, right? You got Brooks and Dunn, Jamie Johnson, Vince Neil. I love these guys. Tyler Farr. Brooks and Dunn. Last I knew, Brooks and Dunn had broke up. What are they doing? Are they playing again together some? Or what's the deal there?
I think they are playing together some. And this brought them back together because they both have such a love for racing, and they're on the board. They're either on the board or the advisory board, or they have ownership in this. And yeah, I meant to mention the concert, and then the Oak Ridge Boys. They're going to the Grand Ole Opry will move out for like only the 4th or 5th time in its history, and perform instead of being at the house, will be at the track this week. And the Oak Ridge Boys will be the 5th. They were going to Alan Jackson, and he canceled. So the Oak Ridge Boys will be there. You mentioned Vince Neil, I think. Vince Neil and Peter Frampton, I believe, are going to get up on stage and play together.
Nice.
So it's just, and there's going to be a lot of pop-up things like that are going to happen supposedly during the weekend on his concert. And then there's food, and there's just all kinds of things. It's just a huge festivity. The mayor said yesterday they see this as the end of the summer, following the 4th of July celebration that we have, that this will kind of wrap up our summer in Nashville. And I hope that it's going to be a long-term thing. But, yeah, there's a lot more going on other than the racing, and there's a lot of racing going on other than the Music City Grand Prix.
Yeah, Jamie Johnson as well. Now, speaking of, I'm a big fan of Jamie Johnson. Now, there's another Jimmy Johnson. Is he running in this deal or what?
He is. I talked to him the other day, and he's getting better, a little better, throughout the season, and he'll be here. And I talked to him. I did a story on Joseph Dugard, the local kid here.
Yeah.
He's now 30 years old. Joseph said he wants to try NASCAR after this season. So, of course, that was a natural to talk to Jimmy Johnson about making the move from NASCAR over to IndyCar. So Jimmy will be here and thinks that this might be an opportunity to gain a little bit of an edge, or at least not be behind the 8 ball as much, because it's a new track and the other guys won't have an advantage on him of knowing the intricacies and the things like that, because they're all going to be facing a new track. So he's looking forward to that opportunity, hoping that will give him, it will level the playing field a little bit. Not really give him an edge, but not put him behind the 8 ball like he's been a lot of races this year. So, yeah, he's hoping to gain a little bit of ground.
Newgarden is 4th, I think, in the standings overall, and is a guy that's got a ton of talent as well. I think he's got an Indy 500 win as well, so he's got to be the favorite. I mean, as far as the fans go, I mean, you would think that Joseph Newgarden is going to get a lot of love.
Yeah, easily the favorite, I think, and coming off his first win of the season, he ran well this year, but he did not win. He had a couple of second place finishes and was in the mix in several races, but hadn't won until the last race in Mid-Ohio, and so he's coming off a win on July 4th. The Toronto race was canceled between this race and the last race because of COVID. So he'll be coming in as the favorite, having won the last race and it being his home race, and him having all that pressure on him to try to win this race. And if he can win, I think he'll have a shot at he obviously has not win another. He won 2 championships, and this would put him in really good position if he was to win this race to pick up his third.
Yeah, Mike Organ with us from the Tennessean talking about the Big Machine Records Music City Grand Prix coming up. Elio Castroneves is racing, coming off of his win. He's a very, very popular guy. Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, all of the big names. Will Power, Graham Rahal. As you said, this is the biggest field in 8 years outside of the Indy 500. So you got all the big names that are running this thing. And I know that back in the day when they were running the IRL out at the Super Speedway, the guys would come in studio. The IRL guys were fantastic, and I'm not throwing any shade at the NASCAR guys, and I'm sure that they're very, very happy to be back in the mix in Nashville. I can't wait to see them eventually, hopefully, run at the fairgrounds. But these guys here, they seem to go to great lengths to promote their sport, and I know I really appreciated that as a media member.
Yeah, they take they accept and even embrace the opportunity to promote their sport. I think they know they're a little bit behind some of the others in terms of popularity. They know that it's, especially in the South, that it's not quite as big as NASCAR, obviously. And I think they kind of take on the responsibility. It's up to us to promote this thing. Yeah, we put on a great product, but beyond that, we have to be personable and, reach out to people. And on top of that, they're all so cool. They're just all really cool guys. We got to spend time with 5 or 10 of them yesterday. And they're just, you could sit and talk to them for hours, you feel like. And they don't have, there's not a lot of ego and strong personalities that that like you're bothering them, or that they're having to do this out of obligation. They want to be there. They enjoy what they do. They enjoy talking about what they do, and they don't mind you asking them about what they do. So I told Joseph that Sunday. Joseph actually came down to the Tennessean for our interview with him last Sunday, and I told him, I said, "You're just so good at this." And he goes, "Mike, it's not just me." He goes, "If I wasn't good at it," he goes, "I would be the only guy that wasn't." He goes, "Everybody in the sport's pretty much the same way."
How wide is the road at the where they're going over the bridge itself? I'm trying to remember it. It seems to be like that gets a little bit narrow just over the bridge in each direction. How wide is it there? Is that a passing zone or not?
That's a good question. I thought they were going to make it a no passing zone, but it's 4 lanes, 4 regular traffic lanes. But I think it's going to be a passing zone, and on top of that, it's going to be the bumpiest part of the track.
Right.
So the width is going to be a little bit narrow, as you brought out, and then it's going to be the bumpiest part of the track. They found that they won't know that for sure until today when they practice it. 1:20 or 2 o'clock, so that'll be the first time they've even been on it. But through simulation, they've already found out that it is. And all bridges are bumpy anyway, so compared to other roads. So it's going to be a bumpy ride over the bridge. On top of it being a little bit narrow.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be really something to see on TV. And obviously the 60,000 seats in the grandstands are sold out, but can people still go down there? Is there places where they can get a look at this, or is there at least opportunities, Friday and Saturday to go down there and take in some of that racing?
Yeah. I've told a couple of people you can go down there and you can see some stuff. You can. A lot of people are going to watch the races, obviously, from the hotels and different high rises around town.
Yeah.
And that's a great vantage point. I talked to a former executive, the chief of the fairgrounds the other day, and
right.
He told me that he's got a fairground. He's got a pass for the grandstands, but he's decided to stay with his wife and watch with her office up on top of a office building. Said there's about 100 doctors are going to watch from there. He said, I've been down, and he said, I've seen the grandstand, and I've seen where that office building is. I think it's going to be better to watch from up on top of that office building instead of the grandstand.
Well, and some of those honky-tonks downtown, I would think, too, when they get down into that little stretch when they're going around first and in there, I would imagine that all of those restaurants are going to be, packed upstairs, obviously, with those cars going by.
Yeah, if you can get outside of one of those restaurants, that would be very cool. You'll be able to see them coming by on that end of the race and then approaching the bridge. And even, not only approaching, but being on the first part of the bridge. You won't be able to see them go over it and come off of it, but you'll be able to see them revving up as they head into the bridge.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Mike Organ has been our guest. Mike, I appreciate you so much. It's going to be a big weekend up there, and I appreciate you coming on and talking about it.
Tom, I appreciate it so much. It was so good to talk to you, and keep catching those smallmouth and that short hop wide.
Yeah, 4 feet. That's my new technique. I'm gonna write an article for Bassmaster.com about that, about how you catch smallies in 4.5 feet of 87-degree water. See how that goes over. But yeah,
that will be well read.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. I did catch a largemouth too. I mean, I caught a largemouth first, and I thought, and it was so textbook. It was like exactly where he was supposed to be. There was a big tree across the back of this cut. I was all the way in the back of the cut because I was like, you know what? I don't see anything going on out here in the deep water. I'm going to go all the way in the back and see if anybody's home. And I went back there, and it was this big tree, and it had a Y in it, and I pitched a rage bug in there, and it went right to the bottom, and the next thing you know, it got picked up. I could tell it was going sideways. I didn't really feel it, but I saw the line moving. So I went ahead and set the hook, and I had to manipulate the bass out of the tree. And my wife she's laying on the back in her bathing suit, sunning, so she's back over there catching some rays. And she just kind of looks up as I'm fighting it, and I'm like, this was so textbook. And it was a beautiful spot. I mean, the spot where I was absolutely gorgeous, right off of the river. And she goes, "Oh, it's really pretty back here. It's really quiet back here." And but it wasn't quiet for long. And so it was just textbook. It was just exactly what you want. But then when I went to the other side of the cut and threw in there for that the next tree, I'm saying, okay, now I'm going to look for another tree that looks like this. And there was another one, and that's where I caught the smallie. And I'm like, the hit was textbook. Where the fish was textbook, but it shouldn't have been a brown fish. And that was what was weird about it. And then he came off. I went to unhook him. He came off on my front deck, and he was kind of flopping a little bit, Chris. And I had taken my Crocs off because they were hot, and so I had taken the Crocs off, and he was kind of flopping on the deck a little bit, and so I slipped my foot under there, and he kind of flopped up on my foot, and I flipped him into the water with my foot. I just lifted him into the water. And she goes, "Oh, that's not juggling him." Yeah, she's like, "Why are you kicking?" I said, "No, I went messy on him. I didn't kick him. I just lifted him gently. I lifted him with my foot and back into the water. That's all. I mean, it wasn't one of those.
Sounds like a good day on the lake, though.
It was a good. Nice, it was a good few hours. It was a good few hours. It was really good. By the way, speaking of messy,
yeah,
I don't know if I understand everything that's going on there because I don't really understand that stuff. But what a weird deal here. I mean, this is a guy that he's been with this this Barcelona. I think you just tell me when I start lying. I think he's been with this Barcelona team since he was like 15 or 16 years old. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
something
probably like
that.
13 to be honest with you.
13 years. It's been like 20 years. He's 34 years old now. And 13 or 14 years old. He signed a 5-year contract extension, and apparently the league shot it down. La Liga's salary cap or something. They shot it down, which is going to hurt the league. It obviously hurts Barcelona. It hurts the league. And now he's going to leave the league maybe? And he's going to go. And somebody even mentioned a possibility. And to me, this would be the biggest name at this age of 34. What was Beckham when he came over?
I think you said. I think the last time we talked about it was like 34.
Beckham was that age?
Yeah, he was about 34, 35, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they even talked about the possibility of Messi joining the MLS.
Yeah,
which I don't know.
I said that actually earlier because I thought he re-signed his deal, but it sounds like maybe that was just some talks.
No.
Yeah.
He had re-signed the deal.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, the league just voided the deal.
Yeah.
The league voided his deal. And so, so now apparently he's talking to Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, yeah, it's Paris. Okay, you don't have to say Paris just because it's Paris. You don't have to show your Paris
That's the name
Saint-Germain.
Of the team,
it's Paris, okay, but Paris Saint-Germain.
PSG for the,
Yeah, it's a PSG. Because they want him. Of course, everybody would want him. But what league does PSG play in?
The French league. The French league.
Well, that would make sense.
Liga 1.
But their French league it's first of all, why doesn't he play in the Premier League? You would think that he would play in the Premier League. He never played in the Premier League?
No, because and I thought I was joking, but really he did relocate to Barcelona at the age of 13 and played on the Barcelona C team.
And he's been under contract with them for 21 years.
Yeah.
He's 34 years old.
Yeah, he's been playing professionally, and I do it with air quotes, since he was 13. And I just think that Barcelona had him from the get-go, and I don't think I think they always gave him more money, or like he was obviously the best player, so they're always going to keep re-signing him every year and give him the most money because he won the Ballon d'Or like I think 3 or 4 times. I think now I want to say maybe just 2 times, but I mean he's won Player of the Year, multiple times, and he's been like the best soccer player other than Ronaldo in the last decade. And the only problem he has is I don't think he's ever going to win a World Cup with his home country, even though he's won so many championships playing for Barcelona. But I will say this, joining the MLS, that is a lot of money. So like that's a lot of money coming into the MLS too. Not only trying to pay this guy to come over.
I don't know. Do you think if
it'll be huge. It'll be huge.
Yeah, but I mean, they're already. I mean, what are you going to do? Sell more tickets to a game? Are people? I mean, maybe there'll be some more eyeballs.
Could get more U.S. coverage of the game. To be honest with you,
you'd get coverage, but I don't know how that translates into dollars necessarily, and it would take an ungodly amount of money.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how you would recover the amount of money, and I know he was in trouble recently a little bit too, as well. So there's that going on. How does this La Liga stack up to the Premier League in terms of great play? I mean, is La Liga it's not the equal of the Premier League, is it?
Well, to an extent, they're kind of like right there. I mean, Barcelona,
like the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah, Barcelona is like your number 1 team. Real Madrid's like your number 2. You also have Atletico Madrid, who's a good number 3, number 4. They're always like the 3 teams that you see every single year in the Champions League, stuff like that. Barcelona, obviously, you know the name, you know the team.
Do they win the Champions League?
Yes.
Or does the teams in the
depends.
Premier win
I mean,
it?
Juventus has won it. That's actually a Italian league. But usually Barcelona, if they're not in the tournament, it's a bad day or it's a bad year. I should say that. I mean, the most successful club is actually Real Madrid in the Champions League. They have 13 titles, but like I said, it's either been Real Madrid or it's been Barcelona. But Real Madrid also had Cristiano Ronaldo for so many of those years too. So
what you're telling me is this: I often refer to the MLS as like AA soccer.
Yeah.
Okay. I always say it's like AA soccer. Yeah. But what you're telling me really is that
I know what you're getting at.
The Premier League is better, La Liga is better, Serie A is better, the Italian league is better. Serie A, Paris. The French league is better, right? I mean, the French league is way better.
I mean, PSG and then Marseille is a really good team too.
I thought PSG was in the Premier League for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, that's French, not English.
Is there another one? Is there another thing that's something like PSG that's in the Premier League, or some kind of a team that has some letters like that? I don't know.
Maybe some letters, but I don't know which one you're talking about.
So basically, I think the MLS is as good as the Mexican League, right?
Better.
Would you agree with that?
I would say better. Honestly, I would
MLS
say better
than the Mexico
League.
League.
Because
not as good as the Brazil League, though. Do you think the Brazil?
No, it would be better. See, here's the thing: the actual leagues in these South American, the actual leagues in these South American countries they're not necessarily like
because all their good guys are over playing in the Premier and in the La Liga.
Yeah, like they're good. Like America is like the biggest, obviously the biggest Mexican team in Mexico. That's like literally called America.
Yeah.
They are pretty good, and there's usually pretty good teams now. But it's individual players from the countries, not so much the leagues. And I would say the MLS is probably better than the South American leagues.
Yeah.
And not as corrupt and not as like very scary to go to a game. Like, because I mean, the Mexican league, it gets really bad. That was the
Mexican league. You got to shoot your way in and shoot your way out.
That was the
stadium.
whole situation with back when Oakland played that game in Mexico City or whatever, and the field was just absolutely torn up because they had a soccer game like the week before.
Yeah.
And the fans. I mean, we
did just win the Gold Cup thing here.
Yeah.
Which is all of these leagues that are over on our side of our side. But over there, they got 5 or 6 leagues that are better than our league, at least. They got 4 or 5 leagues anyway.
Oh, and Europe and all, pretty much Europe. It's just pretty much the European leagues. Like, even the Dutch league is better than ours. I would say that.
Really?
I would say the Dutch league.
Dutch?
Yeah, Ajax is really good. I would say that another team like Celtic and Rangers, I would say the Scottish league is probably better than the MLS.
The B League of the Premier League is better than our league.
Nah, I don't think so.
When they get relegated.
Well, I
You
mean,
don't think?
all of those. Well, everybody in the B League is pretty much like the only team that obviously moves up would be the top 3 teams in the B League.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't know. I couldn't say that.
Who's
that
our
the
best
B
team
League
in the
is
MLS?
better.
Who's the best team in the MLS?
I haven't really been paying attention too much to it, to be honest with you. But I know every single year you've got your favorites. You've got obviously Atlanta United that's had some success, like winning the MLS.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. They're no good
Like 2
anymore,
years
though.
in the league, exactly. The Seattle Sounders are always a good team. The Portland Timbers are always a really good team.
I wonder if any
Columbus
team we
is
got,
really a good team.
Is there any? I wonder if there's any team we got that could play in the Premier League and not get relegated. Any team.
Maybe Portland. Maybe Portland.
Yeah.
They're really good. Seattle's usually pretty good. I mean, that's the thing about the MLS. It's just really, it's like if you. That's one thing about Atlanta United was so good. They had all these great guys, and then they started making these new teams like FC Cincinnati. So they started having like the draft, and then they started pulling people from the team, and I mean, then they started like evening out a lot of these teams. So like at first, when Seattle kind of came into the MLS, they were like one of the best teams in the MLS. Now Seattle's kind of taking a step back from Portland. Portland's kind of a newer team. You know, there's I mean, at one time, you know, DC United was pretty good, or the Philadelphia Union was pretty good. You know, it's just newer teams seem to do a lot better. I mean, LAFC is a brand new team. You got Cincinnati, you got Nashville. Nashville, I mean, playing pretty good for you know, their first couple years in the league. So.
Yeah. All right, let's get a break. I'll have to ask my limey grandson. I got a grandson, or not grandson, son-in-law. I got a son-in-law that's a limey, so he actually played at what would be like the Division I college level over there in England. I'll ask him if any team in the MLS could even stay and not get relegated. All right, way too much football talk on a football Friday. Phone lines are open. If you want to get in, you can jump in now. 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
The United States men's basketball team will go for the gold against France, the team that upset the Americans in the opening game of the Tokyo Olympics. The USA a 12.5-point favorite in the rematch, the over-under 175.5. The United States baseball team still alive to win a gold medal heading into the final days of the Olympics. They'll have another shot at Japan, who came back to beat the U.S. earlier in the tournament. Japan the favorite, -160 to win gold. The United States +130. The Braves opening a series with the Nationals at home this weekend. Atlanta -182 in Game 1. The Nationals +155 on the money line. The over-under 10. Kyle Muller on the hill for Atlanta.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Hey friends, Eli Gold here for Environmental Comfort Systems. If you're concerned about the air quality inside your home, give my friend Rick Smith a call at Environmental Comfort Systems. Their indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of indoor air contaminants. Give the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how comfortable you can be. Breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the WZDX Penn Point Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A slightly better opportunity for showers and thunderstorms as we progress through the heart of your Friday afternoon. A little more cloud cover and a little less sunshine. Still, with that in mind, temperatures are at least going to climb into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. It'll be a pretty miserable night, not because it's going to rain, but because it's going to be so disgustingly humid. Temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 80s, a couple of us creeping into the lower 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by TOC. The Orthopedic Center is there for all your injury needs. It's not just surgery either. Sometimes it's just some rehab that you need, and they can take care of you there as well. You need to do what pretty much all of the schools in North Alabama, including Alabama A&M and Huntsville Havoc, do, and make sure that you have the number for TOC Sports, because if you've got an injury or somebody you know has been injured, you need to recommend them, and they can take care of it for you. They do just such a great job down there, and they're very, very knowledgeable. You hear them, they come on with me, and we do the TOC injury report, and they're regular dudes. They don't like big time you with all kinds of doctor speak. You know what I mean? They understand sports. They're sports fans. and they understand sports injuries as well. So they do a really, really good job with all of that. All right, phone lines are open. If you want to get in, now is the time to get in. I know a couple of guys were on earlier. Jeff in the Borough did not get through earlier, and I apologize for that because Jeff's always an interesting call for sure. But if you want to get in, this is a good time to get in. 256-576-4977 will get you in. 256-576-4977. From the Twitter machine, Jonathan says that Beckham was 31 years old. Wouldn't that be like right in your prime? Beckham was 31 years old in 2007 when he came to play for the LA Galaxy. Oddly enough, when he left the MLS, he played a half a season for PSG and won a championship there. But didn't they win when Beckham came over? Didn't the Galaxy win the MLS championship maybe with him? I seem to think that he wasn't great. You know what I mean? I seem to think that he wasn't, all that weren't they paying him like $34 million or some incredible amount? But I don't know why I thought that. Jonathan says that MLS is like the NFL with parity. Foreign teams don't have salary caps, so they have great teams at the top. MLS is also getting better despite adding teams each year. Lots of difference from the U.S. and the world. That was a fun segment for a Football Friday. I'm glad you appreciated that, Jonathan. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've said it time and time again. I mean, it would, if we could just, make the Olympics, with the U.S. men's team, God forbid, make a real run in the, in the World Cup. I mean, I remember when we got, was it the Elite Eight, I think, when we got beat in the Elite Eight. But what if, God forbid, they made a run all the way to the Final Four or to the final? Wouldn't that be something? I mean, that would be crazy. Grace, did you see the email from Brandon? He did a poll. It wasn't an email. It was a text or a poll. It was a tweet. I think I did have a stroke because I can't talk anymore right. I mean, I've always had hard time stringing words together. But maybe I did have a little bit of a mini stroke or something because I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts straight. Anyway, he put a tweet up, a poll question regarding what song should play as a warning sign when my pacemaker goes off. When there's a device, when the device in my chest, my pacemaker / defibrillator, when it goes off, should it play a little tune? Like Achy Breaky Heart. He had that on there. He had Freebird on there. Well, Freebird's... Listen, you can't put Freebird on any poll question because Freebird wins automatically.
Every time.
Yeah.
Even
I mean, if you
lost.
put Freebird on any poll question, it ends. That's why I never put up poll questions about, who will be better this year, Alabama or who's the best coach in the history of college football? You can't because the fans of that particular team, they go off. You know what I mean? It's it. And they monopolize. A good poll question has a generic type question, enough of a generic question to where it's going to get a 50-50 split, and people of all fandoms will vote on it. You can't say who is the best running back in the history of the SEC and put on that list Bo Jackson and Derrick Henry and Herschel Walker because all the Georgia fans vote for Herschel. All the Auburn fans vote for Bo. All the Alabama fans vote for Derrick Henry. I mean, it would be the way it is. It's the same thing if you put Freebird on a question. Brandon is up in Rome, Georgia. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I was laughing really hard before you brought me on when you were talking about Achy Breaky Heart. Currently on the Thom Abraham heart attack track poll question.
Heart attack track. That's outstanding. The heart attack track. I like that. Yeah.
Achy Breaky Heart has 0%. Staying Alive is at 27.3.
Yeah.
Freebird is at 27.3.
Yeah.
And currently leading at 45.5 is Kickstart My Heart.
Kickstart My Heart. All right. Well, it might be something else.
Yeah, well, the doc says that I got a small piece of Polish sausage lodged in the lining of my heart.
It might be just that. I mean, they're going to do tests on Wednesday. I'll be off next Wednesday. I will be off because I have a day full of. They said just be prepared to be here all day long. So I have a day full of tests scheduled, and I'm hoping that what they'll find.
Yeah, well, the doc says that I got a small piece of Polish sausage lodged in the lining of my heart.
I'm hoping that that's it. Maybe that's it.
Well, if you do me a favor and retweet the poll, if you and 97.7 will, we'll see if we can get some more votes, and we may prove your Freebird theory to be correct in the end. I just think that Kickstart My Heart is just such a good pun for this that you can't help but have it in first
Let me hear it, Grizz. This is it? Yeah, see, if my heart did that. If my heart did that, then it would be a thing. There's no doubt about it now.
I'll let you know, my wife was so impressed. She said, this guy's sitting here on the radio. I played it for her yesterday at dinner. She said, he's sitting on the radio talking calmly about the fact that these people are alarmed that his pacemaker kept going off, and they took days to call in and tell them. She said, that's you. She pointed at me. She said, that'll be you one day. And I said, yeah. I said, he didn't know. I said, he thought it was the microwave. I haven't seen her laugh that hard in a long time. She was really tickled about that.
My wife won't stop laughing about it. My wife was like, she was like giggling and laughing. I'm like, what are you? And it was like we were chasing around that. Once she figured out that it was me that was going off, and she was, and I'm chasing everything around. I'm like, why are you laughing? She was laughing hysterically. And I'm like, why are you hysterical? She goes, I just think it's so funny that you're chasing all around the house to figure out what's making that sound. And it's you. And it was like you thought it was the smoke detectors or something. And you were like, I know how to change the battery on every smoke detector in the house. We got 15 smoke detectors in this house. Place is huge. And she's like, and she just thinks it's freaking hysterical. And I'm like, it's not hysterical. It's me. It's a warning going off. It might, so.
Yeah, but it's just the way you played it off, though, because I could see you in there when you get there, and they're like, well, you're supposed to call us immediately when this happens, and you're like, oh, hell, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just...
Well, I just retweeted it.
Tom.
I just retweeted the poll. So
we'll get
see.
the votes now.
We'll see if it takes off a little bit. Grizz, maybe you can retweet it. I don't know if you got the access to it.
I think I already did.
Maybe you did.
I think I did yesterday.
Yeah, so let's see what happens with that thing and see if it takes off a little bit, and we can see which. But that thing, if it went off, it was funny. My son, I finally told my kids, because you like your kids to know what's going on. So I texted my 9 kids and I said, "There's just a heads up here, nothing to get too concerned about." And so I sent them stuff, and then they start sending me all this stuff back, all this gallows humor stuff back. And my oldest son texted back. He goes, "I think I would have had a heart attack just hearing it go off." If it was going off, if my chest was going off like that, I would have a heart attack. But they had a good time with it. They did.
Well, I really think that's the funniest thing by far that you've done or said the entire time I've listened to this show. So bravo. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're all right, but I just appreciated the candor of you just being like, well, this beeping and the mystery beeping, and I thought it was a microwave, and I thought it was this, and they come to find out it was me. You can't make up humor that funny.
I thought it was a GFI, and then my wife tore apart the couches. She saw one of the phones somebody was doing a Find My Phone thing, and the phone was in the couch, and she tore apart a couch, and then I thought it was an Amber Alert on my phone. I said, I don't understand. My phone's going off, but there's no alert. I mean, it's not saying anything. It's not a weather alert. It's not an Amber Alert. It's nothing. And then as I started chasing it, like the 4th day that it happened, when I started chasing it around, she goes, it's everywhere you are. And that's when I said, oh, my God, I think this is the thing inside me that's going off. I think I'm going off.
4 days.
Yeah. No, it was 4 days. It was every other. It was actually the event happened. What set it off was on July the 26th. It was a week ago. No, July 29th. July 29th, a week ago Monday. When I went in, they put the thing over the top of it, and they could read exactly everything. They said on July 29th at 2:46 in the morning, you went into AFib, and it lasted, your arterial fibrillation lasted 12 hours and 16 minutes. And so we were sent, or a warning went off, and we were supposed to get the warning. But because the device that you have in the house that sends the warning to us doesn't have a cellular connection, because I live in this little town, and it doesn't have we didn't get the notice. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to call as soon as your monitor goes off. You call us, and then we come in, and we tell you what's wrong with you. And I said, well, And they said it's been going off every other day at 7:15 in the morning, every other day for 7 days. And before I figured out what it was. I mean, literally, it would go, I would be, there it goes again, honey, what is it? And we'd start investigating, before we figured it was me.
Go Gadget Heart.
Go Gadget Heart. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
right,
great listening to you. Appreciate the laugh. Hope we'll see if the Freebird rule prevails.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good weekend. Roll Tide.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I finally told my dad. My dad's 82 years old. He had a heart attack 15 years ago. He had a 4-way bypass. He says, when are you going to see he goes, when you go to the doctor and they do all the tests, are you going to see your cardiologist? I said, I'm going to the cardiologist, Dad. Okay, I want you to ask him something. Tell him that you know somebody that might be a match for you that's got a strong heart that had a 4-way bypass that's in really, really good shape. So what are you talking about? He said, I said, maybe you could have my heart. And he says, and then I'll get a mechanical heart or electronic, or they make these electronic hearts, I guess, now. And he says, maybe you could do a transplant. You can have my. I said, Dad, you're 82. I don't want your 82-year-old heart. He goes, yeah, but you're 60, and then you could live another 20 years. I said, your heart's 82. I don't want your 82. I want like a 32-year-old heart. You know what I mean? What a young heart. I want some old heart. 82 years old. Hopefully I don't need a heart transplant. That would suck. All right, let's get a break. Come back and wrap it up next. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Are we ready for the 5:30 pickup?
Cam's Courier Service's newest hire delivered his resignation.
Hey, Ray, who's handling?
She now needs next day shipping on a new driver.
All these boxes here, are they ingoing or are they outgoing?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
This is the only place for Drew DeArmond, Wes Neighbors, and of course, Thom Abraham.
I never met him, but I hear that he's a man of character.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer.
I think this should be the song that plays.
We want to play.
I want to stay a little bit longer. Not that I don't have a real good vibe as to where I'm going, you know. If I were to drop dead. I mean, I am at peace with that. Gotta be honest with you, Grizz. I got a good feeling about that. But I don't want to drop dead. You know what I mean? I'm not ready to drop dead yet. I got young grandkids. I want to see them grow. I like to see a couple of them get married off. I got kids yet that got to get married off. I got I'm enjoying life right now.
Positive vibes, man. You'll be fine. You got to deal with me, so I mean.
Well, good. Yeah, I got you. I mean, I got. I mean,
I'll try not to piss you off too much this week.
I love the scenario. Yeah, I love my work scenario that I'm at with the station and with the national show. I just found out that Bassmaster Radio now.
Yeah.
647,000 downloads.
Very nice.
Of the show.
Very nice.
At Bassmaster.com.
Right,
of course, you can hear it here tomorrow live. And a local dude is going to be on. Local by local, I mean, like North Alabama dude. Trey Swindle, who is Gerald Swindle's nephew. And he's making a run at he's at the AAA level right now, fishing the Opens, making a run at the Elites. And Trey Swindle will join us tomorrow. He is also sponsored by North Alabama Mortgage. And coming up for the 22 season, North Alabama Mortgage is wrapping his boat. They're going to be his title sponsor. And so here we share a sponsor in North Alabama Mortgage.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah,
which is really cool.
I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so Trey is going to be on the show tomorrow. Ray Hanselman Jr. will be on that show as well. He just qualified for the Bassmaster Classic when this kid by the name of Bill Perkins won the Oneida Open, but Perkins is not eligible to fish in the Classic, so the next guy down on the list got in, and that's Ray Hanselman. So we're going to talk to Ray Hanselman of Del Rio, Texas, and Bill Perkins, who won the Oneida Classic, $45,000 up there, winning that deal. So that's what's on the show tomorrow. Busy day as well tomorrow for me, Grizz. My youngest son, he holds a charity hardball baseball tournament.
Yeah.
Baseball game, I should say. A charity baseball game every August, and it's tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Winchester City Park, so I'll be down there for that.
Heck yeah, have fun with that.
See him do that. He wants me to do the PA, which I do every year for him.
That's awesome.
And then tomorrow night, there's a Good Friends Music Festival in Manchester, Tennessee.
Oh, cool.
At the Rotary Park Amphitheater that one of my other son's band is going to be playing at. So we'll go catch some of that as well. And I'm sure Kelly is playing somewhere in Huntsville as well. All right, that's going to do it for us. Chuck Oliver is next. And then Paul, and then The Drive. All right here